This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the animated movie Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. So let me ask you something.
Yes, Andrew.
You love a good Christmas movie.
I do, yeah.
How would you feel if you could knock out basically 3 Christmas movies in one go?
Are you telling me I would save time on my Christmas movie watching experience?
No,
Oh.
I'm not saying that at all. This is actually a very lengthy movie.
Oh, okay.
No, what I'm saying is, if you like Rudolph and you like Frosty the Snowman in the month of July, well, buckle up, buddy. I got the movie for you.
Buckle up, buttercup.
The Christmas crossover, literally no one asked for, especially if you look at the box office numbers, because this did have a theatrical release.
Very short-lived.
Yeah, very short-lived. They realized, they're like, what are we doing? Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. What a film.
Dude.
This is one of the strangest things I've ever watched, and we've watched some really weird shit on this show.
Okay. Before we really get into this, it's been a minute since I've watched these stop motion Christmas movies, like the classic Rudolph and Frosty.
The Wreckin' Bass animated Christmas movies.
Am I missing something? Are all of them this, like, fantasy driven?
No. As far as I can tell. Well, I want to say that they get a little stranger right around this year, because this is like the last one. This is the very last, almost the very last one. I know it's got 2 claims for it at the very least. It is Rudolph's last appearance in the patented Animagic animation that is the Wreckin' Bass way.
Okay.
And also, this is Frosty's first appearance in the Animagic Wreckin' Bass style animation. So
interesting.
I mean, it is definitely around the end.
It is wild.
Oh yeah, and I would say I can't remember what it's called. It's sad because in one of our previous top 5 Christmas specials, it's on one of my top 5s, but The Adventures of Santa Claus, I believe they do it. And that one has a lot of fantasy elements in it. I would say it's pretty similar to the one we're about to cover today.
Dude,
as far as like fantastical elements that have very little to do with Christmas.
I'm not going to lie, when this movie started, and I know we'll talk more about it, at first I thought I was watching Lord of the Rings. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It gives you that vibe. It gives you that vibe of Lord of the Rings if Lord of the Rings had to keep a tight time. You know what?
They're like, hey.
If somebody went up to Peter Jackson and was like, okay, you can't make it 3 hours. Like, I'm going to have to cut out a lot. Like, that's fine.
One more thing. Make it with holiday creatures.
Yeah. Well, there are holiday creatures, and then there are just straight up fantasy creatures. There are dragons in this movie.
Like wizards, dragons, fairies, like
a whale with a clock on it.
What?
Father Time has a pet whale, never mentioned.
I think that's a character from the original Rudolph, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe I was wrong. Dude, it's been
maybe the one where he teams up with Baby New Year.
Okay.
Which is another one we could cover like later on.
Ooh.
This is going to be our last Christmas movie of the season.
Yep.
We promise. But yeah, there are musical numbers in this movie. We could rate them. They all have something to do with romance.
Christmas is a very romantic time of the year.
The owner of the circus has the weirdest one because it's about how men let her down.
No, I didn't. I thought it was about how she needs a man.
That, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. She needs a man. She'd give up her circus for a good deep dickin' is what that song was.
Even that song, to me, it was more confusing than anything because I'm like, you have no man.
Yeah.
Like, are you singing about a husband we don't know about?
That we don't see.
Or are you just looking for a man? Like, that's all you need.
Maybe she's jealous of her daughter getting married, which is another plot point of this movie.
Which leads to probably one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
Okay, we'll talk about it. We will. So, we went into a little bit of the history of how this got made. Well, it went into theaters, but let's get into maybe the history of this.
I wish I had more than it was just a money grab.
Yeah, this is like this is the Christmas version of Kong versus Godzilla.
It is. I mean,
or Freddy versus Jason.
I think we talked about it last holiday season. We actually covered Rudolph. You know, we talked about the history of Rudolph, how it was just a marketing ploy, I think, from Macy's or one of those department stores, and then Rankin Bass ran with it, made an animated series. Guess what? They did the same thing with Frosty the Snowman. Frosty the Snowman's origin comes from the song.
Yeah.
That's it. And this was just Rankin Bass, I guess, one final attempt to just squeeze that turnip for every last ounce of juice.
Getting some blood out of a Christmas stone.
There you go, man. Because that's it. There was no, we had this whimsical fantasy of, Rudolph and Frosty. No, it's just, hey, we need to make money. It's July. What we got?
What's weird is this was 2 to 3 weeks in theaters, like I had said earlier.
Yeah, it actually, if I'm not mistaken, I couldn't find the official date that it released in theaters. I just know that it released
in theaters.
It was for 2 or 3 weeks, did terrible. And then a few months later, they aired it on ABC on November 25th, 1979. And when they aired it on TV, it got way
better.
It did way better.
Because that's when you want to see these movies. Do you really want to go, even in 1979, do you really want to go to the theater?
No.
And
you want to watch
a stop motion animation Christmas movie?
No.
In the middle of July?
You want to watch the Fonzie jump over a bunch of sharks. That's what you want to watch in July.
So, before we get into the movie, I thought it would be, where does the term Christmas in July come from?
Well, Andrew.
So, there is a camp that was in 1935 that was a girls' camp in Brevard, North Carolina. They're sort of kind of coined with it. And then also, because I think this one's just more like they don't know really how it translates to it. But in 1894, a French opera by Edouard Blau and Paul Militet and Georges Hammett. It had an English translation in 1894. A group of children rehearse Christmas songs in July. So that's another kind of origin for it.
1894.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, which is weird because July is the 7th month. You would think you would want to do Christmas in June because June is the 6th month.
Like,
December is the 12th month.
Halfway, I'm guessing.
Halfway point. That's what I'm saying. I guess Christmas, but like we're in the now times, I guess Christmas in July rolls off the tongue better.
Hey, they had marketing back then.
They did.
They knew what they was doing.
But you don't even have, so with the French one at least, you don't even have the American independence angle that you would with the American version with the Brevard, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, because this is it's kind of like, it was a Christmas / July the 4th movie.
Yeah, there's a fireworks show and everything, so...
Oh, what a story.
It's completely glossed over that Mickey Rooney has been Santa Claus in all of these.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, I only know him as the guy from The Night in the Museum. I don't know him from anything else. But that leads us to the voice cast of this ill-fated film. So we have Billy Mae Richards as Rudolph, Jackie Vernon as Frosty, Shelley Winters as Crystal, Red Buttons as Milton, Ethel Merman, Lily Lorraine, Mickey Rooney as Santa Claus, Alan Seuss as Scratcher, the jealous reindeer, and finally Paul Frees as Winterbolt, Jack Frost, and a policeman.
I really thought you would, we finally found something where everyone just voiced one character, and that was it.
No. There's always going to be one guy.
The hunt is still on.
So for their other works, we have Billy Mae Richards is Tender Heart Bear in the Care Bears movie.
Okay.
Paul Vernon is Boris Badnovan in The Bullwinkle Show.
All right.
There's a deep cut. Shelley Winters is Professor Summers Dell in La Bamba.
What a very fitting name. What was her name again?
Her real name or her? Shelley Winters. Oh, because she's in a I got you. Red Buttons is let's see here. Oh, the old man in Odessa or Bust. Ethel Merman is Lieutenant Hurwitz in the movie Airplane. Mickey Rooney is Mr. Lewis in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jackie Vernon is Donald in Microwave Massacre, which is something I want to see.
What?
And Alan Seuss is Ernright in The Americanization of Emily.
Gotcha.
So,
I think Red Buttons probably takes the cake for the best person's name we've ever said on this show.
Yeah, and someone I've never heard of. It's definitely a stage name, I suppose.
Red Buttons. That's it.
So I have one question before I start breaking down this movie.
Okay.
Do you think Frosty made his kids and wife, or do you think he did what Majin Buu did in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games and created just a wife out of snow and then procreated with her, and that's where the kids come from? Do you remember that in Dragon Ball Xenoverse?
I mean,
where Majin Buu takes part of himself and makes a wife, and then they have children? Do you think he made one? He made one, and then they had sex, and then made the twins, or do you think he just made all of them?
So I don't think he made his wife. because in the Frosty the Snowman song, he actually talks about how the kids can make him a wife.
Oh, so you think the kids made him a wife like later, like off screen?
Yes, because what's the lyric? It's we'll say married, all you know, man, but you can do the job when you're in town.
That's
So
not Frosty the Snowman. That's not the Frosty the Snowman song.
You're right. It's not. What the fuck am I talking about?
I don't know. That's Walking in a Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, Frosty the Snowman.
He never mentions making a wife.
Okay. I thought actually they showed a clip of kids making his wife when they did the Frosty throwback.
Oh, when they recap Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, so that's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think the kids that made Frosty made his wife. Now, how they reproduce,
or is it like that movie Robots? Do you remember that with Robin Williams and a bunch of other people I don't remember?
Robots.
It's a DreamWorks movie. And in the beginning, like the robot husband and wife, they want to have a son, and they just build him.
Okay,
so
I
maybe
remember
that's
what
how
you're
they did it. That would be very adorable and innocent.
I like to think it's more. You know how salmon reproduce?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, the female salmon basically like craps out like a sack of eggs, and then the male comes in and like fertilizes the eggs. So there's no like physical contact between them. I like to think it's something like that.
Well, that's better than snow people fucking to me. That seems wrong.
But I like to think it's more like she craps out a block of ice, then he like pees on it in a sense. And then when the ice melts, it goes up into the air. And then when it rains, that water freezes. And then he's got his children.
That sounds way too complicated.
For this movie, it wouldn't be complicated.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
This movie of fantasy wonderlands, like.
So I had a hard time finding this movie, so I had to do a 7-day free trial to AMC Plus. So if you really, really, really want to watch it, you already have AMC Plus for whatever reason, because I explored AMC Plus. There's nothing on there.
I think there's just a bunch of these old holiday movies.
It's a bunch of old movies that nobody wants to watch. It's literally what Netflix used to be when it first started. Like, you remember when people would laugh at you if you had the Netflix streaming service because it had like maybe 20 movies.
You mean back in the day when the mail-in Netflix was still the hot thing?
They were still doing mail-in Netflix.
Yeah.
God, that'll make you feel like a fossil. Like, Netflix used to come in the mail and a child would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Dude, that was only like 13, 14 years ago.
But
that's
to them,
crazy.
I was watching a video of these guys. They were like, what would you consider an old person? They're like, oh, if you were born in 1995, you were old. And I was like, you can go to hell, kid.
I'm going to slap a kid.
Yeah. You want to fucking feel the back of my 89 year born hand? You keep talking this shit.
I'll show you how old I really am.
So this movie clocks in at an hour and a half.
It is long. Too long.
And as we explained before, the Christmas lore goes hard in this movie.
Holy crap, does it?
So it starts out with Rudolph and Frosty. They all hang out at the North Pole. Frosty brings his kids, and they're like, light your nose, Uncle Rudolph. And he goes, okay. And he tries to, and it fails. And then we pan over to Santa Claus, and he's like, before I came around, way before I came around, there was a old ruler of the North Pole Winter Bolt.
What a fantastic name.
Yeah, that's the perfect name for a fucking ice wizard. Anyway, he was an evil ice wizard, and he ruled over the North Pole, which was just elves and wildlife.
Yep.
So I guess that's why he was able to get away with it for so long.
Yep.
Then the Queen of the Northern Lights comes down, and they kind of, hype it up to be a fight. But she's like, I'm going to put you to sleep. And he goes, forever? And she goes, well, nothing lasts forever. Okay, you're going to wake up one day. And so he goes to sleep. And, the Queen of the Northern Lights has to take a human form for this. But then she's like, well, I'm not, and true to form, she's like, well, I'm not going to be around forever. So I have to make a champion, so to speak.
A champion of light. A paladin.
Yes. So where does she go? What does she do? She goes to Rudolph and basically ruins his life for the first half of his life, basically.
Makes him a freak.
Yeah. She lights up his nose, and a snowflake with a star in it is on his hoof, for he is the champion of the Aurora Borealis.
The only thing that can defeat Winterbolt.
Does it, though? So, here's the thing. She tells Rudolph, your light will always light up. Like, you'll always be able to do this, as long as you never use your nose for an evil purpose. Which I will get into, but it's very unfair what makes him lose his power later in the movie.
It's very stupid.
So, yada, yada, yada. One thing I want to point out, Winterbolt goes to sleep. Santa and Mrs. Claus come up to the North Pole. Santa says something very cryptic that we don't really go into, but Santa went to the North Pole so no one could stop him for what he wanted to do, which, as far as I can tell, is deliver toys to the children around the world. Who was trying to stop him?
Parents, I guess.
Big toy corporations. Big toy, some CEO. That would be a good Christmas movie. Fucking, like a big cigar smoking CEO of like Big Toy, who is just like, this damn old guy's giving out toys, like some sort of anti-Santa Claus, not the Grinch. Because he wants presents delivered, but for capital gain, not from the goodness of his heart.
So you want a very business, political-oriented Christmas movie.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds boring, but yes.
It could be one of those adult, not like a porno, but like more adult-oriented Christmas movie. Like a Game of Thrones, but the tale of Santa versus the toy companies.
Santa versus big business. So now we fast forward. Time goes on. The Queen of the Aurora Borealis, her body is gone.
Yep.
And that lets Winterbolt wake up. And
with his two ice dragons.
Oh yeah, I really want to stress the ice dragon things, because if I had ice dragons, I would use them a lot more effectively than what Winterbolt is doing. His plan is so convoluted for someone who owns two 20-foot tall ice-breathing dragons.
I know, right?
Also, pretty big note that we learn when he wakes up, his scepter is powered by an ice genie.
Oh, yeah.
Just, sure.
What?
Why not, So he talks to the ice genie, And he's just like, who is this new ruler of the North Pole? And he goes, well, it's Santa Claus. And he gets his magical power for the love children have for him. And honestly, kind of a solid plan on Winterbolt's part. Instead of just destroying or going an all-out war with the North Pole, he just wants to beat Santa at his own game.
Yeah.
If he delivers presents around the world, kids will stop loving Santa and love him. So then he'll have ice magic and kid love magic. Probably should have phrased that better.
Santa's just taking on a whole new side.
Yeah. Whoops. That's
Whoop.
All right.
Maybe that's why he had to go up to the North Pole.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he was like, why do you want my kids to love you so much, Nick? I'm like, I just want to. I just love it when they sit on my lap. You need to get the hell out of here.
You're banished to the North Pole.
This is also when Winterbolt learns about Rudolph.
Yep.
And this is where we get they just sing him the song.
Yeah.
They recap the movie of Rudolph in like 15 minutes. I want to stress, I've just told you a lot of information. We are in 15 minutes in this movie. They have explained so much.
They come out strong though.
They come out swinging.
Here it is. Here's all of it. Enjoy.
This is where I get a little frustrated with Winterbolt's plan. He only uses the snow dragon. Like, we also learn that the storm in the original Rudolph movie, that was Winterbolt.
Yeah.
And it was caused by his dragons.
Crazy.
What a waste of ice dragons. And what would you consider using your nose for evil? I just want to stress that. Like, what is
cocaine?
That's exactly what I have in my notes. But then that's not really evil. That's just a good damn time.
Hey.
Okay. So now we run into everyone's favorite Christmas character, Milton, the flying ice cream man, who for some reason stores all of his ice cream at the North Pole. I would assume to save on refrigeration, but there's no way that would cost less money than taking a hot air balloon up to the North Pole.
Yeah, I was about to say, hot air balloons, they go up, but they really don't travel, You
use the sandbags, I thought.
Well, no, they'll travel up, but think about it. For you to kind of move
You
forward,
are at the mercy of the wind. You're right.
Exactly. So if he's trying to bring ice cream back, dude, he could be up there 2 weeks for all we know.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe that's why we haven't seen him until this movie. He's just been lost up in the air.
Milton by 4. He's got my favorite, I guess, plot of this movie.
He's gonna get married. He wants to get married to a circus lady.
It's the idea he has to save the circus.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, his conflict is he's getting married to a circus lady, the tightrope lady.
Trapeze artist.
Yeah, the trapeze artist. That's what they're called. I was like completely blanked. But it's her mom's circus. The circus is going under. And the guy who wants to buy the circus looks like Inspector Gadget's boss.
Yep.
So here's an interesting power that Winterbolt has that I didn't quite understand. Winterbolt is watching this all play out with Milton talking to Frosty and Rudolph. And he's like, I got the perfect idea to get them to go. He makes a snowball and throws it out into the ether. The snow lands on Milton's head, and that inceptions him.
Yep.
Like he incepts an idea in him to ask Rudolph to come down and do some tricks to perform for the circus.
To generate money.
Yeah, to
circus.
generate revenue to save the circus.
And that is my favorite part of this movie because it's basically, hey, I've got a great idea. How about I get you freaks of nature to come to the circus? I'll really drive up some prices.
They do sing about being misfits a lot. So this is also when Frosty's wife and kids also want to go to the circus. This kind of goes with my theory that Frosty made all of his wife and his kids.
Okay.
Because they don't understand that they'll melt if they leave the North Pole, which means they were made at the North Pole and have never stepped foot outside of it. So now Mrs. Frosty sings a song about just because they can't go to the circus, Frosty is all that she ever needs to be happy.
Everything I've always wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of a sweet song. It is actually a sweet song. So now Rudolph is like, wouldn't it be cool if you couldn't melt? And you know what? It would be. That's why Winterbolt shows up with some amulets, and says it will keep them unmelted until the final firework on the 4th goes off.
Yep.
So now they gotta convince the boss man Santa. Is it cool to go to the seashore circus? And Santa's pretty all right with it.
Hey Santa, we got an opportunity to be some freaks in the circus. Yeah. Can we do it?
And so Santa's just like, and then Frosty and Frosty's kids, I should say, they're like, man, it would be cool to see the fireworks.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't stay. Frosty's like, we can't stay for the fireworks because we have to get back home. I cannot stress to you children what being below freezing temperature is like for a snowman. And so
we've
Santa's
got
like,
three stages. We've got a solid,
a liquid, and a gas. We really like being the solid portion of the three things we can be. So Santa's like, you know what? I travel faster than the speed of light. So I can just, before you can watch the fireworks show. And before it's done, I'll just come get you and bring you back to the North Pole. Lickety split.
Easy
Frosty's
peasy.
like, you know what? Good enough for me. This is all apparently going according to Winterbolt's plan.
Yes. Very, very complicated plan, Winterbolt.
Yes, very over convoluted plan when you literally have two giant ice dragons.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I gotta figure out my computer flipped out. Not flipped out, but it's like I lost my spot.
Still recording at least?
Yeah, we're still recording. I just lost my spot on the document on my notes. And so now we go to the circus. They're at the circus, the Milton, the Frosties, and Rudolph. And this is when we meet the trapeze artist, Lanaine, the woman that Milton wants to marry. She is attracted to him. In her words, he is the best ice cream man in the world.
Sure.
Also, there's a giraffe with a necktie, and I thought that was pretty. It answers the question. Have you seen that meme where it's like if a giraffe wore a necktie, would it be like up here or down here?
Okay.
Well, it'd be near his body, just in case you were wondering.
At the base of the neck.
Yeah, at the base of the neck, like a normal person.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And now you see, this is when the owner of the circus, she sings a song about how every day is like Christmas as long as I'm with you. She sings this to nobody.
Which this is what, Lily, the trapeze artist, this is her mother.
This is her mother. Yes, this is the owner of the circus.
And she is like
she's like the Texan from The Simpsons.
She's just a cowboy,
tootin' Texas lady.
That's it. She's carrying around 6 shooters.
Yeah, whenever she and she gets excited and she shoots them. She is literally the Texan from The Simpsons, like 100%. She's got the cowboy hat, and she's like, "Yee-haw! This'll be the best Christmas
in July
fucking
ever.
Circus this side of the Mississippi."
Ooh, my circus is saved now that you freaks have come along.
So now we're back to Winterbolt, who is hyping up his dragons. Basically, He's like, "I need you guys to fucking bring the fucking ruckus." And then he is also needs to ask his genie for the opposite of Rudolph. I said a dickhead version of Rudolph.
Yeah.
Like everything that Rudolph is, this reindeer needs to be the opposite. And wouldn't you know it, such a reindeer exists in the Cave of Rejection, which I guess is an apartment complex for...
It looks like a jail almost.
Well, no, he's late on his rent.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, like, it's like a
halfway
one
home.
of those divorced dad condos.
It's like a halfway home for, like, convicts.
Yeah, I said it was an apartment for bastards.
Oh,
that's what I put in my notes.
That's insensitive. How dare you?
I mean, maybe if Scratcher had a positive male role model in his life, such as a father, he wouldn't have became...
My father was a murderer. His father before him was a murderer.
But so basically this is where we meet Scratcher. Scratcher's main motivation is he leaves because he's late on his rent. He's about to be kicked out anyway, so he might as well go corrupt Rudolph.
He's really down on his luck.
Winterbolt has stolen some magic corn to give the Scratcher so he can also fly. This is literally only just used for him to get there.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
So back at the circus, we see them getting ready for the show. The owner has the weirdest song about a guy. She needs a guy, but sometimes they're not cool. Is a chicken today, feathers tomorrow?
Yeah.
That song?
It's strange.
It is a strange song.
It makes no sense. There was no build up to this or anything. She just starts singing about chicken.
She just did it.
Chicken and feathers and needing a man, basically. And you're like, what the hell is happening?
So, okay. So Scratcher is on his way, and this is Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. They head out, and the ice dragons begin their storm
to delay Santa.
Yeah, they got to delay Santa. And very weird that after one time this happened with Santa with no headlights, he didn't make a sleigh with headlights. He exclusively relies on Rudolph for storms. That seems like a bad time.
He never lets the reindeer go on vacation.
No.
So, I mean, why would he care about it?
But luckily for us, Santa is an experienced storm driver. So he just goes into the eye of the storm. And then he sings, and Mrs. Claus is worried, and he then sings a song about how much he loves Mrs. Claus. So we get to hear Mick Foley sing, which is neat. Now we go and see the parade. It is done by a song again.
Yeah.
Frosty, who seems to be the only one worried about melting, which I feel like is a legit reason to worry because they will die
Yeah.
And his family's making him feel bad for it. But to Frosty's credit, he has melted before. I assume it hurts because he really doesn't want it to happen again.
Frosty has seen some shit, okay?
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's like, I've seen the evils of the ward, kids.
I mean, true. So now Scratcher needs to talk with Sam Spangle, who is the Inspector Gadget looking guy who wants to buy the circus.
Yeah.
They talk to him, the screen goes to black, and then Scratcher comes to Rudolph and he's like, hey, you let me get a job. You know, we used to be pals. And like Rudolph is pretty straightforward. He goes, well, I don't remember us being like friends. I remember you being a dickhead and then getting kicked out of reindeer school. He goes, at least they treated me like a freak and I wanted their acceptance. You got kicked out because you were the biggest asshole reindeer of all time.
There ain't no songs about you, Scratcher.
Yeah, Scratcher, the jealous reindeer, was a fucking dickhead. Douche. So now we see Winterbolt's sleigh. His sleigh's fucking rules. Ice snakes, super cool.
I
know.
What is it?
You think it's stupid?
No, he was just like, I needed something the opposite of reindeer, so I've got
giant,
ice snakes.
What do you think their names are? Because there's 4 of them.
One's name is Slither. Other one's name is Scaly.
Slimy?
No, Scaly.
No, I'm saying like maybe the third one.
Third one is slimy. Fourth one is just.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think if he had ever cotton on, would he have a Samuel the blue tongue snake?
No, maybe he promotes Scratcher to that.
Okay.
Like, you did me right there, so I'm giving you the lead position there, Scratcher.
Well, Scratcher sounds more like a sassy gay man who's tired.
Hi guys.
What was that? That's not.
I don't know. Is that his voice?
He's like Rudolph.
Rudolph.
He sounds like, so you remember that Pinocchio movie with Pauly Shore?
The really gay one?
Yeah, he sounds like that. He sounds exactly like Pauly Shore.
Okay. All right, yeah, I see that now. Yep.
Okay, so now the circus is in full swing. Clowns, strongmen, we're all seeing the act. Frosty's act is actually pretty impressive.
Yep.
That he was able to choreograph that in like a week.
Oh yeah. He's a freak.
He slides down him and his entire family slide down a slide. Frosty lands, he holds his wife, and then does a handstand on Frosty's hand, and then the kids balance on her feet. And you're like, that was pretty good. Rudolph just flies.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a cop-out.
Yeah, family of freaks, all of them.
Yeah. So this is where we kind of see Scratcher tricks Rudolph, which I don't feel like this is fair for his like do evil and you'll lose your nose.
Yeah.
Because like if you unknowingly do evil, you also lose your power. That seems unfair.
I think the message there, because there was plenty of opportunities, like Rudolph, you could tell he was getting that gut feeling like something ain't right, but he still did it. He didn't trust that feeling. We got that feeling for a reason, y'all.
Yeah, always trust your gut. That's our Christmas message.
There you go.
Argue with your uncle this year. That's our other Christmas message.
No.
Yeah,
I've
do
got
it. Ruin your
nieces.
family's Christmas.
I don't want them arguing with me.
No. Do it all. Spill the tea. If somebody's cheating, just go right out and say it.
What are my nieces going to argue with me about?
No, I'm not. No, them, not us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our Christmases will be fine. I'm keeping my fucking mouth shut. But you guys, the audience, you definitely go out there and cause as much family turmoil as humanly possible.
Oh, man.
Don't make it to where you don't get invited to your next Christmas.
Yeah. Good advice from Cartoon Dumpster Dive.
There
Ruin
you
all
go.
family
Hey, if you're coming here for
relationships.
advice, you're already kind of fucked, you know? So I'm gonna skip a lot, but basically the next part is they sing "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree" and the circus people all dance around. Frosty then gets on Rudolph and they ride, and the act is over. So now what's left? It's firework time.
Yeah. Oh, at this
First of all,
this
they try
point,
to talk.
I was going to say at this point, everybody kind of hates Rudolph.
Oh, not yet. We haven't quite gotten there. We're close though.
All right.
So, we're right there, and we're like, they want to stop the fireworks, and because Santa's still stuck.
Yep.
And this is where Frosty and his family are preparing to accept fate and die.
Yep.
That Frosty and his wife are like, be brave, kids. So this, at the same time, Winterbolt shows up on the scene, and a cop comes and he's like, I'm here to, oh yeah. So Scratcher gets Sam Spangle to dress up as a cop because he's like, this cop is going to take the money to the bank.
Yep. Tricks Rudolph.
But a real cop shows up. He's like, I'm here to help you take the money to the bank. And they're like, wait, I thought you already did that. And then while this is happening, Winterbolt also tells them, he's like, your nose doesn't work. And if you fucking tell anybody that Scratcher robbed the bank and not you, I'm going to make Frosty melt. So what's it going to be? Your reputation or your friend's life?
Evil.
Rudolph obviously chooses to keep Frosty alive.
Yep.
Which I feel should have negated the first thing already.
Yep.
That was like, he's like, yeah, I'll give up my power for my friend's life. I'm not a lunatic.
Yeah.
And so like now Frosty knows, and he goes, no, wait. And Rudolph's like, don't say anything, Frosty. I chose this life, the life of the streets.
I'm a criminal now.
I'm a criminal. That's basically what Rudolph did. He's like, yeah, I fucking stole that money and gave it to Sam, and I'm not going to explain anything to you dead dick circus motherfuckers. Okay?
I'm a freak.
I'm a freak. This is what us freaks do.
We stick
Misfit
together.
for life. And then he makes his hooves do an MF.
A misfit symbol and,
Yeah.
hobbles
Also, his
on out.
snowflake star is gone. So,
Yeah.
whatever. So, Frosty's family hates Rudolph now. And Milton and Lillian also hate him. And so, Rudolph, you gotta feel bad for him. Poor guy.
It is a complete 180 with everybody around Rudolph.
No benefit of the doubt or anything.
It is crazy because it's obvious he wants to say something.
Yeah, it's obvious to a crazy degree.
But everybody's just like, fuck you, man. How dare you take that money?
I feel like seeing a Rankin Bass character like Rudolph like cry real tears because everyone hates him because he's got to share a secret for the life of his best friend. He's way too heavy for a Christmas special.
Oh, it is.
I was like, this is entirely too sad for what I want to watch.
This movie has exited the realm of Christmas specials about 20 minutes into it.
So Winterbolt takes Scratcher back to the North Pole. Sam Spangle gloats to some clowns about how no light up, nobody's going to go to the circus because Rudolph's nose doesn't work. And they are right. They are furious.
Yep.
So now Frosty's like, I'm wondering if I can give Winterbolt something to clear Rudolph so we can just, like, I have my cake and eat it too. Winterbolt is watching in his crystal ball. And this is when the genie tells them Frosty is magic. How is that not a dead giveaway already that he is magic? He's a talking snowman with 3 other talking snow people.
You're talking to an evil wizard with 2 ice dragons.
Who refuses to use them for anything other than storm creation.
Yeah.
But this is when we see the Frosty Snowman song, basically.
Yeah.
They just sing Frosty Snowman, and he's like, if you can get him to take off the magic hat, you can make an army of snowmen.
Yeah, the genie tells him, hey, you can reverse engineer this hat, figure out what makes him like alive, and then you can build an army of snowmen.
This is the best part of the movie for me. Winterbolt's like, what could I possibly offer him to make him give up his hat? And the genie just goes, lie to him.
Yeah, just lie. Oh, that's great.
This is the smartest character in this entire thing. Like, he's just like, why don't you just lie to him? Once he takes off the hat, it's fucking over. I'm surprised the genie is like, just go pick it off his head.
Yeah.
Frosty's pretty dumb. Like, he's not.
Don't even talk to him.
Quick on the draw.
Just take it off.
Just go take it off his head and run away.
You get Scratcher behind him, bend down, you push him over.
Yeah, exactly. Like, really? So now we're back to Rudolph crying on the shoreline. Rudolph is now talking to the Queen of the Northern Lights, who has been watching over him this entire time, which means she knew he got tricked.
Bitch.
So now we run into Big Ben, Father Time's pet blue whale, who is got a clock on him. Then that's it.
At this point in the movie, you're not surprised by anything.
He is from a previous movie.
Yeah.
He is from Rudolph's New Year.
Okay.
So he did exist beforehand. He didn't just show up. But then Rudolph's like, I got tricked and I lost my nose power. And if I come clean, Frosty will melt. And Big Ben's like, hey, say no more. I gotta go to South Africa. Gives no other information and leaves.
Just peace.
So, Winterbolt during this time has tricked Frosty. Like, he just tricked him. Like, there wasn't much to it. He was like, if you give up your hat, I'll give Rudolph's power back. He's like, no problem. Takes off his hat.
Aren't the fireworks going off at this point?
Yeah, but they stopped that. That's why Rudolph can't say anything.
Okay.
So they're going to melt immediately if he comes clean.
No, the fireworks are still going off because I remember that is the slowest drawn out firework thing.
By this point, they are done. By the time that he takes his hat off, they are finished.
Okay.
So this is where we learn that Rudolph learns that Winterbolt tricked Frosty into taking of his hat, and Crystal sees Frosty's lifeless snowman body. And
Frosty, no!
Yeah, she's like, hide your eyes, kids. I mean, it is basically just seeing your dad's corpse.
True.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, so now we get a fight scene. Pretty good.
Yep.
For rockin' bass. Rudolph fights all the ice snakes. Does a pretty good job. He gets the hat back.
Yep.
And as an added bonus, gets his nose powers back.
Way to go.
So now Rudolph can tell the truth, and he's just like, and he returns the hat and the money. This is my favorite thing. This movie is like an hour and a half, and everything is getting wrapped up so quickly. Yep. They've had so much time, and they're like, oh shit, we got to get done.
We can't be writing developing stories anymore. We have to finish them.
So now we have some apologies and some cheers, and they sing the Misfits song, and they basically, they stick together because they're freaks. Winterbolt, in one last-ditch effort, comes back, and he goes, I'm gonna fucking kill you with my ice scepter. I've had enough of this. He's finally going for the more direct route.
Yes.
And the mom comes up and she's like, well, I got these guns. And her daughter's like, Mom, those are blanks. She's like, yeah, but they're made of iron. And she chucks them at the ice scepter. The ice scepter breaks and Winterbolt turns into a tree.
What? What?
Now the storm is over because Winterbolt turned into a tree. So Santa's able to get there pretty quickly. Unfortunately, not quick enough. The entire Frosty family has melted.
Puddles.
Big Ben coming in clutch, though. Why did he go to South America? Because it's in the southern hemisphere, and it's winter in the southern hemisphere.
So who's there?
Doing winter stuff? Old Jack Frost. He unmelts them, brings them back to life. Santa hooks up the owner of the circus with magic corn so she can have a flying circus parade forever. They sing Rudolph, and everything is as it should be.
That's it.
Questions about the Queen of the Northern Lights' first plan. Why didn't she just break the scepter to begin with? Is it because she couldn't?
Maybe she wasn't that evil. I mean, you make a very valid argument.
I mean, it would have saved her a lot of headache. It would have both of these two deities seem to really love convoluted plans, because her plan was like, I'm gonna ruin this reindeer's life so he learns humility and becomes a good person to stop Winterbolt. And then Winterbolt's plan is to become the new Santa Claus. I think he wants to end up ruling the world and start a new ice age. Still, you've got dragons. Feel like you could do that without all this kid love. Again, I need to think of a better way to say that, but we're already at the end of the episode.
We ain't got time to think.
Joel, I believe it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment, reviews that are Christmas presents in July.
Ooh.
And reviews that are just a circus.
Ooh, that solid, Andrew.
Really? Okay.
Solid.
I was worried about that one.
So IMDb, this is sitting at like a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. I'm not going to read any of the reviews because, let's face it, all these reviews are probably, posted by people in their 70s.
They're not by they're from people in 1979.
They are way too long. Way too long. I found a different website, Common Sense Media. I've reviewed stuff from them as well. Parents will go on and review movies for, for other parents for their kids. Okay.
Right.
So this is a 5 out of 5, titled People Reviews Are Way Too Harsh. This movie is great. Rudolph and Frosty is twice the fun. People who think this movie is bad, it's not. It's a great movie. Short and sweet. That's it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not bad. It's a little convoluted.
I'm glad you bring that up, Andrew. So the next review is a 1 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Titled, Worst Movie of All Time. Seriously. Don't watch this. Convoluted, boring, weird, painful. That's it.
I definitely didn't think it was boring, but
it just from like
it's
what were they smoking when they thought you
very
know
rarely do I think that joke is funny, but you have to be on some pretty good kush to make Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July.
it really felt like they was just like, you know what's a good story, that Lord of the Rings book that one dude wrote. We should make that
this
in.
is only like this is around the time that Baskins.
Yeah.
Ralph something. But basically, we reviewed his Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, the
there'd be around this time.
Rotoscope.
Yeah. And there's probably Christmas Lord of the Rings.
It really felt like the first half of that movie was nothing but like a build up to Lord of the Rings.
But I believe that wraps up Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July and our Christmas movie
In December.
Because next week is going to be something not Christmas to get you ready for the new year. If we even get to record it in time. So just to preface it.
Is there a New Year's show?
There's not a New Year's show, but there's a Rudolph's New Year that we could do. But I don't want to do another Rack and Bass.
I don't know. I can't. This is enough for me.
Yeah. If you would like to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier with stickers, pins, access to our Discord, bonus episodes, and episodes with extra audio. We have a website, cartoondumpsterdive.com. There you can go request a cartoon, request someone for us to interview, have 2 cartoons go head to head in your junkyard brawl, or just request a random episode you want to hear. We'll do anything within reason. We have an X/Twitter handle, CartoonDD. We have a Threads, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. And if you'd like to send us a Gmail email at cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice so we don't turn into a tree.
See ya. Merry Christmas.
This has been a Lughole podcast.